Welcome back, YouTube. Once again, we're going to do a valve cover gasket and miscellaneous hoses that have dried and cracked on this Cobalt here. Here's the part number. It's a Velcro gasket. First thing we need to do, remove the oil filler cap so we can pop off this big beauty cover. Next thing that's in our way is this forward airbox cover thing, whatever you want to call this. So you're going to loosen this clamp and take these hose clamps off. Now you're going to loosen that clamp right there to the left that holds it to the throttle body. They have this little tab plugged into this hole that holds that box on. You pop the top like that and then it'll come right out. While you're in here, you might as well take a rag and some brake cleaner on the rag and clean up the throttle body and the throttle plate. Unclip the wiring harness from the valve cover on the left side. Unplug the coil / igniter right here. Unclip the fuel line from this holder since it's bolted to the valve cover. Unscrew the spark plug cover bolts with the 10mm. This thing's so brittle at 200,000 miles, I barely pulled up on this to get started, and this stupid plastic broke. But I guess crap happens, right? Anyways, if you have a panel popper, you can get down in here and pop it a little by little all the way across till it comes loose. Now everything seems to be detached. Go ahead and remove all of the screws from the inside and all the way around the outside. Now you need to take a 10mm with an extension and unbolt that because there's a ground wire that attaches to the valve cover. Once you get that bracket off, there's going to be a 13mm that holds on the grounding wire. You want to pry very gently all the way around because you could crack the valve cover if you're not careful. And if it's not coming off for you, check to see if you missed one of the bolts. Clean off all the edges as much as you can without getting dirt inside your engine. This is what a clean mounting surface looks like. You should have it nice and shiny like that. So this is the kind of crap that ends up happening in your engine when you use garbage oil or you don't change your oil on time. See how it's all burnt on and black and nasty? There's even like pieces coming off there and there. So that ends up going through your oil, touching your bearing surfaces and all kinds of stuff. So you don't want to do that. So clean the valve cover now and pull out the old seal with a pick or a flathead screwdriver or something. Now we're going to replace the rubber grommets on the bolts. Now we're going to go and put the gasket in on this. There's two parts. One has one's longer and it fits into these grooves, and one is thinner and that's what seats against your head. So we're going to put these in, but these don't seem to want to stick very well. So I'm going to tack them in with a little bit of RTV. Not around the whole thing, just in like maybe here, here, and here, 3 spots. Just enough to hold it in while I can bolt down the valve cover. And then the outside seems pretty good, except for this one little corner seemed like it was popping out. But there's little pieces that stick out here. And on this side there's here and here. Just make sure everything's lined up. These parts fit over these. And then you can set this on top of your head again. So I used oil to hold them down because with the RTV they were still popping up. So I put the little bit of RTV, then I pushed these down, and this should be enough weight to hold them in, long enough for the RTV to get tacky, and then we can install it. The bolts and the grommets will bottom out, so make sure you do it by hand so you don't strip them with a power tool. And should be all good. Shouldn't leak. So we're going to start putting this back together. Now put the spark plug cover back on, plug in that coil, and put this bracket and the ground back on, and put the fuel line back in to the bracket. Now that you know there's no more leaks, you can replace that top plastic cover and you're all done. So thanks for watching, and until next time, wrench on.